G'day, it's Oscar, and we're up to question 13. This question comes from Imran. He says, Oscar, I'm often confused about the speed at which I should be asking questions. And I feel that although my questions are important, they interrupt the flow of the speaker's thinking. How do I think about the questions I ask while I'm listening? Imran, think about the shorter the question, the better. If the question is only from your perspective, consider the speaker's perspective, the outcome of what you want to achieve. So Imran, I'm not sure if this question comes from the context of a one-on-one conversation or a group conversation. So I'll provide you a way to navigate for both of them. In a one-on-one conversation, often we are thinking about questions that are improving our own argument. So you may ask questions to go, I want to see if they've considered this perspective, or the questions may be from position of clarification. Could you provide me more information? I don't quite understand this. Remember, the shorter the question, the bigger the impact you're going to have. Imran, before you ask that question, in the one-on-one situation, I'd like you to consider answering yes to all three of these questions. And if you can answer yes to all three of these questions, it's probably a really powerful and productive question. The questions should be considered from your perspective, from their perspective, and the outcomes perspective. So if the question you're asking is advancing your perspective, their perspective, and the outcome, the reason you're having the conversation, go ahead and ask it. If you can't answer yes to all three of those questions, the question's probably going to be biased in some way, either biased because you're reloading your argument, or it could be because you don't fully understand what they're trying to explain. So a simple question you could ask to expand your knowledge about what they've just explained may be simply to say, tell me more. You notice that's just 3 words, very short. And in saying, tell me more, you're just trying to explore rather than discover more information. Now let's move on to the group setting, Imran. In the group setting, there's an additional perspective you need to consider. There's you, there's the speaker, there's the group, and the outcome. So there's 4 questions you need to answer yes to in this case. If you can answer yes to all 4 of these perspectives, it's going to be a really powerful question and worth asking to help move you, the outcome, and the group forward. So consider your perspective, the speaker's perspective, the group's perspective. That might be a lot of people in the room. And the easy way to anchor this is the meeting's agenda or purpose, the part of the meeting we're in. So if you can answer yes to this question, does my question advance the understanding of the group as well as the agenda item? It's a great question to ask. Sometimes a simple question we can ask is, how long have you been thinking about it? Or what alternatives besides the one you've explained have you considered? When you ask these questions, you're broadening the landscape and perspective. When it comes to understanding the backstory of the conversation, it helps everybody understand their place in the dialogue. So when you do ask that question, how long have you been thinking about it, as an example, that's helpful for everybody. Because they'll tell us, oh, look, they've only been thinking about it for the last 5 minutes, the last 5 days, or the last 5 months. Either way, whatever the response is, it's going to help the group understand much more about the context. We explain a lot more about this in the most comprehensive book on listening in the workplace, How to Listen. You can go and order that at oscartrimboli.com/how to listen. And on behalf of the Deep Listening Ambassadors and myself, Imran, thank you for your question. I'm Oscar Trimboli, and along with the Deep Listening Ambassadors, we're on a quest to create 100 million deep listeners in the world. You've given us the greatest gift of all. You've listened to us. Thanks for listening.